The Los Angeles Kings taking on the St. Louis Blues in the Blues home opener and first NHL game ever in this building. And that's not the only thing new in St. Louis. The general manager and head coach, Mike Keenan, is new this year to this team. It's got to be an exciting night for you, too, to come into a new building with your new team.
Well, it really is. It's a long anticipated evening for everyone in St. Louis, in particular with the Kiel Center being ready for the opener last October, and now we're opening here in January. It's going to be a great night for the city, and this city has to be proud of this facility. It's wonderful.
Got to be a little weird for you because the St. Louis Blues fans are cheering you tonight. You used to have some battles with them when you coached at Chicago.
Well, we sure did. They've been great fans over the years, and going back to the days, particularly when they went to the Stanley Cup Finals with Scotty Bowman, they were great fans then. They've really built the franchise since that time. Mike Shanahan and Jack Quinn have done a fabulous job. This place will be packed, and they're still great hockey fans.
Mike, you come here obviously with a reputation as a very tough coach. What do you feel a coach has to establish when he comes to a new team?
Well, the most outstanding attribute you have to acquire from your team and your organization is respect. And if you have the respect of the individuals that you're working for, then you can develop and grow an organization to a successful one.
You brought a lot of players that are familiar with the way you coach, your coaching style. Tikkanen and Gilbert and Creighton. Does that make the transition smoother?
It really does. It helps when the people in the locker room are familiar with your style, if you like, particularly with a 48-game schedule. There's not going to be much time for a learning curve here. And those people you mentioned, and Dougie Lidster and a number of others have played with me, either in this situation or in Al McGinnis, for example, and Brendan Shanahan in Canada Cup. That all helps because it puts the pieces of the puzzle together quickly, which is what we have to do this year.
It's no secret when you got the job here, a lot of people said, well, Mike Keenan's personality and Brett Hull's personality are going to clash. How's it gone so far?
I think it's been a wonderful relationship to this point, and people don't know I had a relationship with Brett before I came to St. Louis. And if anything, I think that he's one that's bought the program. He likes the idea of being successful. He's been a leader throughout training camp, throughout the first 3 games of the season. If anything, there's been other players that people didn't suspect are having more difficult time embracing the changes than is the fact that Brett is one of our leaders.
You mentioned a few moments ago the short schedule. Do you have to change your coaching tactics any?
No, I don't think you change your tactics, but you have to change your preparation in terms of work-to-rest ratio for your best athletes. If you're going to play them most often, which many coaches do, the rest ratio is going to have to be monitored very closely because we are playing almost every other day.
Right. Well, Mike, you've had a lot of success around the NHL, and due to the schedule this year, the Kings and Blues are going to see a lot of each other. Good luck here.
Thanks very much. It'll be fun playing the Kings here for opener.
Mike Keenan, the general manager and head coach of the St. Louis Blues, has been our guest, and now we're going to show you a preview of our face-off show with NHL referee Rob Schick.
As far as a referee in hockey, I think it's a toughest sport to officiate because the referee or the official needs some sort of talent to do what he does, and we have to be able to skate. And if you're not mobile, then you're not going to be able to do the job.
Center in St. Louis at the end of 1, the Kings and the Blues are scoreless. Tomorrow at 5:30, our guest on Face-Off will be NHL referee Rob Schick. In this preview, he talks about how tough it is to referee the game of hockey.
As far as a referee in hockey, I think it's a toughest sport to officiate because the referee or the official needs some sort of talent to do what he does, and we have to be able to skate. And if you're not mobile, then you're not going to be able to do the job.
I think it's maybe the most dangerous too, because you know, I've seen referees get hit by football players, but that's not like getting hit by a puck that ricochets off somebody's stick or off the crossbar, and you put the helmet on. I guess was it because of a certain incident that occurred that you decided I better wear a helmet?
Well, it took me 10 years to smarten up, and finally, you know, people kept asking me, why don't you wear a helmet? Why don't you? And I could never give them an answer. And one night in Calgary, I got hit. Gary Roberts hit me from the front, and my head went back and hit the steel partition that holds the glass together. And down I went, and to make a long story short, the doctor came out and put me on a stretcher. And I sat there, and of course the hockey mentality in all of us say, I'm ready to go, get out of my way, I'll go again. And as he stitched me up, and he said to me, he says, you think you're ready to go? And I said, yeah. He says, well, I'm going to give you one small test. He says, and if you pass the test, you can go out. If you don't, I want the whistle. I said, all right. He says, I'm going to give you 3 numbers, and I want you to repeat them to me backwards. So I sat from media away and I watched his lips, and he gave me the numbers 671. And I heard them, and he said, okay, what were the numbers backwards? And I gave him the numbers 925, which was the combination of my locker at the YMCA. And as soon as I said it, I knew I was wrong. But he said what happens when you get hit in the head a lot is that the first thing to go is you can't retain anything. And so I just took my whistle off and politely put it in his hand and went off in the meat wagon, and we went to the hospital. But
You'll hear more from referee Rob Chick tomorrow at 5:30 as he's our guest on Face Off. Right here in St. Louis at the end of one period, the Kings and the Blues are scoreless. And